And hello everyone, you should be able to hear me. Everything should be fine. Let me know in the chat. So, for this fourth round of the Moyo Open, we are following two games. The first game is, actually it's already the wrong names, but I'm right on the task. Yes, okay. So we are following Qian from UK against Mateusz Surma for the professional, and in the other game we'll be following Jan Komin for Dan from Czechia against Yuanzhen 7 Dan from UK, also China. He's part of this wave of Chinese UK players we've been seeing in the past couple of years. So for those who don't know, the Moyo Open, also known as the Ladakh Nekansky Memorial, is a board game festival in Pardubice, Czechia. I played it a couple of times, maybe once or twice, and you also have so you have Go, you have chess, you have checkers, you have a lot of games together. It's a very nice tournament. This year I couldn't go because I am now on holidays in France, and I will go straight to EGC. But once again, this year we have a pretty strong field with Mateusz, with Lucan, with some other 7 Dan, 6, 5 Dan players. So yeah, it's quite always a high field. Actually, in one of the previous rounds yesterday, Lucan lost to Jason. So I don't know if Jason is the classic underrated UK guy or if Lucan just had a bad game. But still, anyway, it's an impressive feat. And so, as of this morning, Jason and Mateusz are both players with 3 wins in the top group. So we are going to check their games. So Jason is black and Mateusz is white. Okay. Actually, it's funny because from what I heard, Lucan didn't get crushed but made some mistakes, so Jason was rather solid. Okay, that's nice. I was going to say it's funny that so Mateusz loves to approach and sometimes not taking a second corner. That's very classic of him. But he also loves Mateusz also loves to tenuki when someone approaches him high from Komoku. And then he like for example, if you play like this, Mateusz as black will always want to play something like this. It's very much his style. So it's kind of funny that this time it's the opponent who tenukis the high approach. But here he answers. Fair enough. We get a classic Joseki nowadays. That one, I'm not sure I know it. Normally you would play just this and this. Do we have the ladder at least? We have the ladder. So yeah, this is Joseki I know. For some reason, maybe Mateusz didn't like it. I don't know, maybe he thought black would approach here or black would make a stronger Shimari here. The fact that he played here, this won the game. Well, black played here. That's okay. So what's the idea? I guess the idea is that Yeah, you cannot defend because if you defend, white will just turn, and so now you are captured, so it's not possible. So the only way you can defend nicely is by playing this one or by playing this one. So like you defend both the cut and you capture the two stones, and white will get this, and then white can maybe play elsewhere or can jump. It's probably even-ish. So yeah, so this move I've never seen, but it makes sense. I I like it. And so black tries to resist with the triangle, which also makes sense. So we come back to the same, almost the same sequence, just we have all those exchanges that were not in the first variation, but now they are here. And to be fair, I'm not so sure who they are good for. The Hane at A is massive for both players. And I see that in the game, black didn't play it, but I think if I'm black, I would just play it right away. Because it also kind of removes potential ag in the corner. So for example, if let's say you play whatever, this is kind of sente almost, because if black again plays something else, you turn, and now you could have some issue with this. And there is no way for black to approach, because you can always reduce the derivatives here, and so it can become even a direct curve like this. So that would be, of course, terrible. So, and obviously you don't want to give this free turn for white, because then this becomes way too big. So for all those reasons, I think actually Hane here now would be just massive, and now there is no more ag in the corner, because now if we try to do the same thing, the thing is that white can never approach because it's I against no I, right? So if you do the same sequence, now black is fine because white can never approach in the corner, and so and the other part of the black group is going out, so there's no problem here. So for all those reasons, I think Hane here is just massive. Yeah, you do lose Sente compared to if white had just played here, because now it's maybe unlikely that black would play something here. On the other hand, when you add a move here, you also are further down the side, the left side, so you put a little bit more pressure towards the Komoku on the top left. So for me, it would make sense to just answer like this. It's very big. Okay, so black answers in an old-fashioned way, and white, okay, old-fashioned way, and also because ladder breaker, that makes sense. So white answers again as a ladder breaker slash shoulder hit. Very creative move. Black breaks out the two stones, that makes sense. And white, yes, play here. So yeah, so now the AB exchange, sorry, this exchange helped white to defend the cut in Sente, sorry, I mean like the ladder in Sente. And then white is able to come back at C8. So I agree, Mateusz also probably thought that C8 is the biggest move on the board. And I think he's right. So I really feel like C8 was the vital point. So after this, and black is forced to push, and white again push as well. So yeah, this locally now feels pretty good for white. It's a very strong influence, and actually the black corner is not that big anyway. So yeah, actually you are even forced to push once more because yeah, same story. If you play, if white turns and you play elsewhere, the same ag remains. Just this time, it would become a two-step ko, but still it's a ko because black yeah can never approach. So that even so is very annoying. That's painful. Yeah. So that comforts me in thinking that this is really, really the move that black should have played. It is just massive. Okay, so in the game, white extends one more, black plays one more again, and white tenuki. Yeah, I think tenuki now is okay. It's less painful to get this hane because the cutting point at d6 doesn't work now, right? It's just a simple geta like this. So that'll be fine. However, I also don't think it's bad to answer. It's just a big move in any case. But perhaps Mateusz is a little bit slow now, so he went to approach here, which obviously also makes sense as well. And so as we notice, Mateusz really loves to approach high. It's quite rare for him to approach low. And now black takes the honey. Interesting timing. Oh wait, no, sorry, no, black didn't take. So now black now played this one. Yeah, my bad. It was my previous version. So now black pincers. That makes sense. You want to work with the stones that you put on the top right. Okay, so we don't get the same sequence. We get this one. Yeah, I guess like here, black wants to kind of break the potential of white on the bottom side, so he plays this kind of move, and white goes for this. This one, I'm not sure I know it, but let's see. What's the idea? So you just take. So you just give the points. It looks like a trick play. Well, so what can really black do? Like if black does just do this, then I think we are pretty much happy to make a nice life. And still later we can aim at some attack at A or B towards the black group. Also we have some pincer at C or at D. We can be quite nice. Maybe white can even try to be faster by playing this kind of attach here. Because then if black simply answers, now you are center and you can play elsewhere. And if black plays, I don't know, something like this, then, well, it's faster, but also the shape is a bit more broken for black. So that would be, I think, what white wants. So going through this makes sense to me. And white defends. The question is, I wonder if black should actually play Hane now. White cannot block because, well, I mean, he can try to block. There's technically some cut, which technically, no, it's not Sente, at least it's not Sente. So I don't think this will be good for white because the direction of play doesn't look so good. So white must play this one. And then you connect. But then the Hane is not even sure it's a good exchange to this black Hane because maybe if you are black, you want to play here and try to play something like this, trying to do some squeeze. The problem is I feel like if I'm white after this move, so in the game Mateusz Tenuki, but now I feel if I'm white I want to play this one right away, which is very big in any case, and you prevent the O3 problem. So the best black can do is just to capture the stone at P2, but it's not that big. So yeah, that would be like my first feeling to play as white. And now I think you can Tenuki. And obviously now if black plays something else, then this becomes just very big. But so in the game, white Tenuki and black plays that one, which for me is very suspicious. Yeah, I think I would play this one. It looks like a very ugly shape, but on the other hand, yeah, like I think white is almost forced to play this one. And I think now you can start to fight because you also have like at least one forcing move, like on the, well, I mean, any move like in this area is center for the ladder breaker. Maybe just playing, I don't know, a simple shape, but I'm not sure which one. Just a move that could help. Even this, even if it's not forcing right now, at some point during the fight, the fact that black has a forcing move will be helpful. So this is the kind of fight I would start now. But black played this one, which is kind of in between, trying to make the right side bigger and also reducing the bottom side for white. And now white enters, and I think this is a very, very big move. And white even now can take the key. Yes. So for me, 07 is a very non-threatening move for the white group. So I'm not a big fan of this here. And now white gets Sente again, and it feels pretty good. Okay. Wow. That's some big fight. So obviously Mateusz could have made the thingy a lot easier. I mean, well, still there's a technically a ko, but that ko would require black to play that very bad exchange. So that exchange already is not really nice for black. But because Mateusz played the greedy move of playing the Kosomi, then black can start that ko without that exchange. Well, technically, I mean, yeah, he still has to do it, but can he be very greedy and play this one? Nah, it's suspicious because then you just die, probably. Okay, that is suspicious. But then now even the whole sequence is a bit, because is there a ladder here? There is no ladder because there's a lot of white stones. So the best you could hope for is like some kind of geta, obviously, but instead of playing here, yeah, there is something, because if white plays here, now there's a direct ko. But then like you play here to remove the potential of geta, because now you can capture right away. Yeah, I just feel that I have a feeling that this was a bit greedy by Mateusz to play this Kosumi. But of course he didn't like the clean squeeze. But I do feel that he should be happy with this because he gets the massive corner. Still there is some magie on the right side. But yeah, he pushed to the brim. So the game is, yeah, now it cuts like this, and white extends. Okay. So now we can start the ko. The question is, does black has one ko threat? Well, the obvious one I can imagine is this one, but it's enough. White will capture, and I guess you extend. That's the game. No, it's not the game yet. Okay, this is the game, and this is my variation, but this is enough. This is a massive corner by white on the top right. On the other hand, now you need to come back here somehow, and then you will be under attack. But there is nobody that loves being under attack more than Mateusz, so I think he could enjoy it. Yeah, that feels playable. Mateusz won the first game of the tournament in 95 moves. Maybe he's trying to do better. Yeah, but that's not the game. So in the game, black went for this close threat. That for me definitely is not big enough, and so if I'm white, I will just capture right away. Okay, you also will get this, but I think this is just good enough for white. Well, you will also get some, maybe we don't need to do the data, right? You will also get some points here, but I just feel it's enough for, I just feel it's enough for white. Maybe it's playable. The question is, okay, so let's say we answer. So white plays here. The problem we have also now with black is that we do have a very nice close threat here, which we must answer no matter what. And now, yeah, we can just always go back to this one. But I feel like compared to the previous version I showed where you just do this first close threat to go out and white has to come back, now this is a very alive shape for white. But if you start with this close threat, then the white shape is, of course, still very strong, but there is a bit more edgy. Not b5 as close threat. Well, of course, to choose between b5 and a4, with b5 you get an obvious one close threat more, but with a4 you get a bit more edgy if later you are able to block at b10 as white. So you have to really check if you can be greedy with allowing to have one less close threat or not. If you think you anyway win the core, then just play a4, because then it's better for the AG. If you think the core is by far the most important and you don't care about anything else, then yeah, you can play b5 to get one more close threat. But so in the game, white just captured right away. Okay. So yeah, in that case, black should play here, I believe. That would be the cleanest, I mean clean, well, there is still some AG, but I have somehow doubts that this would be a problem, or maybe you need to first do this to make sure. I guess it should be fine, maybe not. Who knows? Still some AG? Still some AG. So maybe there's no clean way of killing this, and if you just extend. Nothing is so clean. So maybe also Mateusz is counting on that. Of course here, so if black plays here, it's unlikely white would just answer. Because now that looks way more dead. But still, but then you would have like some AG to reduce this area. So maybe Mateusz is thinking that there is no clean way to kill my group, so I can capture the core with no issue. I don't think black close threat was big enough to justify top right result. I'm not sure there was any black close threat big enough to justify the top right result. For me, the only one I could imagine was this one. Oops, we should start with this. This was the only one I could imagine. Yeah. And then you hope for some attack. But maybe even here, white could just ignore and play a big move like this. Yeah, I'm not so convinced, but that's the biggest I could imagine, yeah. I feel the Kosumi at R13, sorry, is bigger than L4. Ah, you mean that instead of defending here, you would play here? That I'm not convinced. I think you really want to make life with your groups. But okay, sure, like you can get squeezed, but first of all, it's Gote. Second of all, now there is no ladder breaker anymore to take care of, so you don't even need to answer. And white can just come back and play like a big move like this. Or maybe you can even come back and try to start a fight again with the 3 stones. So I really feel like black is very busy. Probably black was in the bad spot. Yeah, I feel like no matter what, it was tough. Um, okay, so let me sync to the game. So this is the game. Okay, so white captured. Actually, black came back here now. Okay, so I think he just want to exchange that in center, and probably he will come back here. Actually, it's if white answers, it's I think a smart decision because also it would remove a lot all of the bad agi I was showing because now it's unclear that white. Oops, sorry. It's unclear that white has a place to run now. The fight is still difficult, but I feel like yeah, maybe now it's more difficult for white to make life. Mm, the question is, will Mateusz answer or just will he come back here? Because now that you already got your nice result, so let's say we do something like this. I don't know, maybe white jumps, for example. So white got the corner, black got the influence, but there was a very bad exchange with n5 and n4. That could still, for me, be considered a success for white. So yeah, black has to be careful when you change your mind like this. In the game, white did answer. Okay. Obviously, answering also cannot be bad because then you make sure to remove all agi with the 2 stones here. And we are caught up with the game, I believe, now. Yeah, so this is the live game now. Probably black was nearly in a bad spot. What if white sacrifices 2 stones? Yeah, that's what I was mentioning. But I think also just capturing is very good anyway. Um, but it does follow the black plan. So yeah, as I mentioned, black is trying to make some strength on the right side, and then he's going for the kill, hoping that the agi around the escape here is not good enough. I could, however, imagine like maybe white starting to play from here, and like black might actually need anyway to add a move like this to kill all the agi in the bottom right corner. So yeah, uh, this is pretty much like the extent of the territory I would give to black in this corner. I don't think you can aim at getting the whole thing, of course, unless white is, but yeah. Okay, so I think for now we can switch to the other game. Little Agi never hurt anyone, exactly. So for the other game, let me switch the players. Yes. Okay. So for this second game, we have Jan Komin, who is black, against Yuanzhen, who is white. So yeah, Jan is one of the two very promising Czech kids. So Jan alongside Bartik Dak, who is a 5 dan at the moment, and who also I think played a very nice tournament so far by defeating one 5 dan, one 6 dan for sure, maybe even two 6 dan. I'm not sure about the actual level. I mean, one of them is 6 dan for sure. The other one I'm not so sure. So yeah, very promising Czech kids. And Li Yuanzhen, yeah, is one of the recent waves of Chinese UK player that have been storming Europe in the past 2 years, and is probably the strongest one at the moment. I don't think he's as dominant as some other Asian players we had in the past, because he already had many losses against top European players, but he still has some decent results. So yeah, definitely a strong player. And for those who don't know, yeah, Jan is the student of Lucan. He beat Futanier, that's all so far, but he was leading against Mateusz. Jan. Oh yeah, I meant for Bartik. I didn't follow the Jan result. Yeah, okay. Okay, so in this game, Jan is black and Yuanzhen is white. Yeah, so Bartik did beat 2-6 then. Okay, nice. Oh wow, some sequence I don't know. Okay, I will assume it's Joseki because I've never seen this move by black, but also I wouldn't do anything different with white, so I can't imagine this is bad. I guess it's a way to simplify the whole sequence. Black gets a straight territory, but white gets a nice Punuki. Somehow I prefer white here, but yeah, I mean, it can be too bad for black. And black, yeah, black plays this one, that makes sense. Hmm. So, yeah, so here, when you have this position here as white, you want to treat the stone in a very flexible way. So, for example, if you play such a move, black will simply be happy to answer, and well, of course, now you can go out more easily, but you did help black a lot by adding a move at Q12. Or maybe black could even try to pip you first, and then play this one. And if you think that you can be faster by, for example, exchanging this and this would be even more terrible for white, because not only you made the black side stronger, you also removed all agi with R17. And so you are indeed Sente, but black will just continue the attack. And the fact that there is no agi in the corner anymore would make this sequence very, very good for black. So here you want to be very careful how you proceed with those two stones. But in general, they are quite light because they can always escape with some attach or with some fancy moves as we saw with this elephant jump. Or you can always have like some backup in the corner. Like something like this, for example, would be very much possible. And you can end up stealing, let's say, half of the corner, something like this. And that would be like a potential sequence for white. So in the game, white shows a very flexible move. And maybe some players would think about going straight for the elephant eye, but you have to be very careful when you do so, because then you will help maybe white to build a shape. So once again, you should never, never, never exchange a move like this, because that really destroy all AJ in the corner. But then you can get this attached, and maybe now you can come back and make a decent shape. However, so as I mentioned, the AB exchange is pretty bad. But the C attach here now feels very good because you are able to connect with D. So now the way you can think about it is like, okay, but how about I just don't do the AB exchange, and instead I directly do the attach. And then you think, well, okay, but then I do get cut off like this. Yes, true, but then you also end up cutting off black. And now actually black cannot resist because then it's just a total collapse. So black is forced to connect, and now you can capture. And we almost end up with a similar situation as the bottom right, where like white gets a very nice Tapunuki. Black still, of course, keeps the corner with some points, but it's not that big. And white got the outside. So that would be, I think, also a decent result. Maybe you could even try to be a bit more mean, and by cutting here, for example, because there is no ladder because of the beautiful M14. And now that would, I think, be even more complicated for black. Because yeah, if you play anything like this, then you just die, which is again GG. So you would be forced to play here. We should even read things like this and trying to fight again like this, but even maybe simply giving away the 2 stones and just making an even bigger Punuki would be even nice enough for white. So this kind of sequences would be very dangerous for black, basically. So there is no way black would go for this. So perhaps black would go for this, but then you can go for a nice Hane. And so suddenly we see that you can just reduce the corner of black. And if, for example, black tries to cut you off, now you have no problem to go for this. If black captures, you can capture again. And if black plays here, well, you have to think about some magi. But maybe you also get this in center. So anyway, there's a lot of things to think about in those kind of sequences. But the idea, I would say, like the main idea is to never just plainly exchange this for this. This is just bad thinking. So in the game, black simply jumps, so very good. So not touching the stone, which is what you want to do when you attack a weak group. You don't want to attach. And now white goes for this one, also big. And now black goes for this one, which I think is a mistake. Because now you have the help of K14. So you really want to attack the group in its entirety. For example, a move I could think about is just to play maybe something here. Here you also do have to read what happens if white plays here, or what happens if white plays attached like this. But I think this would be probably fine, because still there is some cutting point around N15. Another move to think about, which is a bit slow maybe here, is just to play a move like P18 that removes all RG in the corner and make sure that there is no base for white. But then again, white is very flexible, so maybe white will just be able to play a shoulder hit and to give away the 2 stones. What about not touching and playing elsewhere? Yeah, you could also play elsewhere. Maybe like just invading here also is possible. So yeah, Tenuki or playing like an attack on a bigger scale from black would be better. I want to push R7. I can't stand letting white get it. Yeah, I mean, push. I don't know if I would. Probably I would just try to push and cut maybe. Yeah. Pushing this one feels a bit passive. But definitely R7 was Q7 was a big move here. But on the other hand, R7 for white is not center, so I don't think you want to push at R7 with black. So yeah, this move I completely disagree with. It's too It's too plain, it's too direct. And so as I mentioned here, now white just attaches. So black chooses to keep the side, that makes sense. I mean, it's a good exchange for black, just it will help white to have some more agi. Okay. So now white is trying to give a bad shape to black. Okay, so now white is very committed because he exchanged exactly what I said to not do. So he really gave everything to black here. So he believes he can just make a good shape, and he's kind of right. Now the black shape is really disgusting. Yeah, so this whole attack by black was a big failure. Like really, I think this move is to blame here. Yeah. So here basically, so black did get a solid corner with no AJ on the top right, but his group on the top side is really ugly, and white actually get a very decent shape to go to escape, and now it kind of almost link up to Q7 and that group. So yeah, I think white should be quite happy with this sequence because black got two corners, but the two corners are quite small, and white has the two remaining corners open. So yeah, I believe white should be better now. Hmm. So yeah, white is going for some kind of a Moyo developing strategy here. Yeah, and everything here I think was anyway fine. There couldn't be too many mistakes. And it's a black knight trying to be a bit faster, and white is very direct. Okay. Uh, yes. I'm a little bit confused. So he thought he can just, but black answering here feels so good for white. Hmm. I mean, obviously it's big for black to play a move like that, but yeah, because like you also don't really want, like, of course you could just defend like this, and now there's no more cutting point, but that exchange is also pretty good for white. And also, too, I'm not even sure white would answer. Probably white now would come back here, but it's not that big to play here. I mean, for me, yeah, I don't think it's amazing, but maybe black should defend. On the other hand, I find this cut so direct that I'm not so sure about it. Because it's also pretty nice for black to be able to just get the corner here. It's a massive move as well. Like, let's say if black just exchange this once and now take the corner, but you also do get this, which is kind of painful. Yeah, if white can get the hane even, that's a bit. So how to do? You should just accept, oops. If you accept this and now you come back here. But yeah, again, the shape is really not pretty for black. But C17 is so massive. Maybe it's playable. Like, even though it's quite painful for black in the top left, I still believe if I'm white, I would just answer here. I really think it's just too big. So I understand that he thought this is painful for black, but I still think, yeah, answering on the top is just bigger. Okay, but in the game, we go like this, and black plays here. Okay. Yeah, so here I think if I'm black, I would just go for the corner. Because again, this is an idea of like white doesn't really care about the two stones uh, at h17 and g15. So when you play here, if I feel like if I'm white, I just want to give them away now. So let's say black would play here. Maybe I would even just, play something like this and just try to give them away and keep a good shape. But if you play like this, then okay, of course, white will give you the corner like this. Oops. On the other hand, you can now keep a pressure on the entire group. And so this fight, I think, would be quite interesting. Maybe actually white would even be forced to play like this and then to play something like this. But then again, you can really keep the pressure on the whole group like this. And still at any point where you want, you can just go up and cut off the two stones. But in the game, I feel like the white shape is a bit nicer. I could even imagine like white simply giving away, like now trying to keep the pressure on the black group on the top. That could, I think, also be an option. Because let's say if white plays here, then you get this kind of nice attach. For example, something like this. Also possible, probably. But okay, so white shows the wall and plays here. And that's a nice move by black. So now black is not really scared of fighting because all of the groups are quite solid. Even the top group now can be alive easily because white is too weak around the G16 area. So that group will never die. So now black can really fight as he wants. Yeah, those exchanges I think by white were very suspicious. Yeah, that was very bad. Like coming back here and like all this was very bad I think by white. Because now you really made the black group even stronger, I feel, on top. Of course, now you remove the connection, but still. And now black is able to play this one, so now you are a bit under pressure. So I'm not convinced by this whole sequence, yeah. So with this move, I think I would simply just answer. It looks just big enough to me. Hmm. I feel this one is a little bit slow. I think there's no reason to not play here. Just trying to make your base bigger. Yeah, that just looks better to make life. Okay, so white gets all the forcing moves, very normal. Now trying to do some splitting attack and putting pressure here. So now it's all about the life of the group. Yeah, for sure, white wanted to get all the forcing moves. But if white doesn't kill, the game could become close-ish because black do have some point. Okay, black is really not scared about the top group life. And white gets this block. And now this is the live game. Okay. So yeah, white only has one territory basically, which is the bottom center. Black has four corners, but they're not that big. And there is still a little bit of agi with the top group. It's very unlikely black would die because black also worst case has like move like n18 to maximize. So I would say it's still a potential game. And obviously there's also a move like O2, which is quite big. So yeah, okay. I would say it's still an open game. Probably white is a bit better just because the white shapes are thicker. But overall, I think it should still be an open game. Um, okay, let's quickly see. Yeah, the other game didn't go so far. So I think we can take a small break, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes to let the game progress a bit more, and then we'll be back soon. So see you in about, yeah, I would say like 10 minutes. Hello everyone, and we are back. Okay, so we will take a look again at the game between Mateusz and Jason. Let me switch the players. Okay, so we stopped around. Actually, we stopped here exactly. So there was a big call on the top right that white won. In the meantime, black got two moves on the bottom side, basically trying to kill the white group, hoping there is no AG. Spoiler alert, there is some AG, just I'm not sure which one, but for sure any white moves on the right side would be Sente. And also black has to be careful. No, white has to be careful on one thing is that any move also of black in this area will be Sente because of the ladder breaker. So because of all of those things, I do believe white leaving with the bottom group is difficult, but on the other hand, it's Mateusz, and Mateusz is known for the impossible lives. So let's see. Okay, well, that move makes me think he just wants to give it away, and I think that's the smart choice here. Yeah, so now he's just trying to get all the forcing moves he can from the outside. I'm just not so sure about the way to do it. I mean, if he wants to be so direct and cut, then I would just probably play a move like this from the start and see how black answers. I feel this is a very direct way of doing it, what he did here. Oh, and just as we start again, I see that EGF2 said that white won by resign. So that game was indeed again very, very fast. Let's see what happened. Why did black push all of this? For me makes no sense. I don't understand. I think you should just leave it now like this. But the first thing I'm thinking about is, so now you will really want to use a ladder breaker. The question is, can you do anything? Like, let's say a move like this, for example. This will be my first feeling. It does help a bit. Because if white answers, then now I feel like it's much easier for... You can even just play this one first. This shape for black feels much, much easier to play. And obviously, if white does anything, then now you can go out. So that is one thing to do. But black just played all of those exchanges, which I think are pretty bad, and then played. Elsewhere. But now white still the ladder is... yeah, because I think he also missed the ladder. Because actually the ladder now still works for white. So basically black got nothing. So if there is a losing sequence, I think this is this one. Because you gave all the points to white and you still didn't even get a proper ladder breaker. So yeah, this was by far the worst sequence by black. And then I think white just plays very simple. And now black is even running, and I guess just dying. And that's it. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was bad. Um, I really feel like up to this point, the game obviously is better for white, but it's not like end of the world. But after this push, it's just finished. If black plays something here, yeah, white must defend, and then you get this. Maybe there is a chance because still there's even like a co-potential, but I guess of course white wouldn't answer. White would just play a big move like this. Of course, it's still a good game for white, but at least black has points. And yeah, black of course can still try to do some invasion on this side. I feel it should be playable. But after this whole pushing sequence, which is not even a ladder breaker, it's just game over. Okay, so good job, Mateusz, who so far has 4 wins. So let's hope that Lucan will be able to play Mateusz in the last round. That would be like a nice highlight for the last game. So far, so Jason has 3 wins, Mateusz 4 wins. Now I think we can just jump to the other game. Let me switch the players. Yeah. So now we have Jan Komin against Yuanzhen. We stopped the game at this exact point. So here, yeah, in this game, black has 4 corners, white has a massive Moyo, bottom Moyo, and basically black is trying to reduce that Moyo. That's kind of the idea. On the other hand, you also have a black group, top group, which is not 100% alive, but also pretty hard to kill. So that game felt, I also feel like white is doing a bit better because just the white shapes are stronger and thicker. But I could imagine this game uh, being a bit more evenish. So let's see how white handled that. Okay, so white is making sure that again his shapes are very strong. Sorry, I'm going to. And black keeps the pressure with the honey, white defends. So that's pretty good. Because indeed, yeah, like if let's say black, I mean, white probably could try something like this, but there was indeed some problem. Like for example, such a cut could be an issue because then you will like force basically white to connect, and then you are able to jump even more towards the center. So white basically tried to be kind of a proactive by just removing the cutting points now, and now playing on the side. So that move by black, I think, was quite nice, aiming at to reduce plus the cutting points. And now white makes sure to reduce the points. I still feel there is some moves for black, like such moves like this, and then you are again able to jump a bit more towards the center. But in the game, black just went for this schema. Okay. Because I feel like if you try to block, the question is, are you completely alive here? You probably are, right? Yeah. There is no big nice Tetsuji to kill the whole thing. But then you do need to add a move, and then yeah, black can still try to come in from different ways. Okay. So in the game, black just plays the Kema, white gets the nice center moves, and he blocks this way. Okay, so now hoping that it's center, black answers, make life, and blocks here. Yeah, so it's pretty much what I was mentioning, that white can get the forcing moves in the center to force black to leave on top, and then he blocks on the left side. And the other thing is that now white is almost alive on the right side because he played also all those reductions, which makes to defend this area a little bit smaller because now you are less afraid of potential cuts around R6 and such. So that makes sense when white wants to block here. It's still probably very big to anyway play here for white. But yeah, you also end up also having some reduction like this. So because of that, I understand that white is thinking, anyway, that area can be reduced very easily because of this and this and this. So that's why I will just turn like this. Black jumps. Oops, no, sorry, not jump. This jump. White gets the center moves. And now we are again catching up the live game. So yeah, white just pushed, black will play here. This is also center. So yeah, white will get all the nice moves. Perhaps you can even play this one. Yeah, but now the Yosei just feels good for white because you also have this very nice attach. If black tries to play here, you can simply play here. So black must come back and do something like this. It's a core, but it's a very nice core. I like it. So it's a free core for white because white doesn't risk anything. So this Yosei is massive. This is the game, okay. Black did play n6, which could aim also at a move directly like n3. If you play here, I can connect under, and if you play here, I can play here, connecting my stones, also threatening some move like A later, or even right now. So white does have to be careful a bit about that. So yeah, I would imagine, I don't know, maybe a move like this and like this, trying to keep everything. Or you could just be thinking, I will just do this. And yeah, like even if you do this, I just let you completely destroy that area. And then probably white can just play something very simple. Mm, Yeah, again, I just feel like white is doing better simply because the black shapes are not so nice. Like for example, if we imagine, so this is center, black plays here, then you can play probably this one, which is not center for the rook. No, so actually maybe you would even just actually play this one right away. Because now you can aim, so black has to make life, but then you get this in center. And so it just feels like you can even play this one, for example. It just feels like the Yosei is much, much easier for white in this game. Plus this also, as I mentioned. Yeah, so white just attaches. You cannot really hane, because if you do so, I will cut you. And if you try to go through, I can play here. The question is if you can play something like this. But the main problem is like white can still just live with this one. So because there is no way to kill that group, it doesn't really matter if black can get. Doesn't matter if black can kill. So yeah, black is forced to play here. So it's kind of the same idea. I think white can simply just accept to give away those points. Okay, maybe in a better, in a nicer way, but let's say just like this, and should be enough on points. Okay, yeah, also a nice move because they're like black and calling, but this is Sente, so black must come back, and white can simply defend like this. Yeah, I don't really see how black can come back from this. Okay, maybe this is a cut here. So maybe I was a bit too fast. Maybe I was a bit too fast with this. Hmm. So probably black needs to. Oh, but black just defended like this. That for me is surprising. And maybe there was a chance if, yeah, if you play here, if this Hane connect is sent. So let's say now white defend, but you can cut. Maybe there was a. I mean, or let's say you can even Atari first. It's anyway center. I could imagine some potential problems. I mean, you will not kill, but you will make some. I mean, or will you kill? No, you will not kill. This will leave. then maybe, yeah, but there are just too many cutting points. Yeah, it's also tough. The black shapes are just disgusting here. So in the game, black plays that beautiful move. So kids at home, do not do broken camera. Yeah, black is just trying to do some USA, but now it's really not working because you even now give this one away. So let's say if white just connects in the easiest possible way, now you even got it because you need to come back here. So that's just, yeah, not good. So already the USA is not easy for black, but black is also making some mistakes. What is this power estimation saying? White plus 15, yeah. That makes sense. Well, now it's mostly a USA game, so not much to say until they play. In the meantime, if you have some questions about Go, about EGF, about EGC, the upcoming EGC, about life, I think Milena did tell me to promote one tournament. That is true. There is a tournament in Pisa in September. Let me fetch the info. I send the link in the chat. So this is the, well, I mean, of course, there is the European Championship, which is a Class A tournament, but technically the next C tournament is the Pisa tournament in September from yeah, 5th, 6th of September. It's a classic tournament with 5 rounds, with some decent prize, like €600 for the first place, 400 for second place. So yeah, organized by the Confucius Institute and Toscana Go. So yeah, if you are interested, I send the link to the chat. Pisa is a nice city. There was a Go Congress there in 2017. No, 2018, sorry. So yeah. But obviously the main event will be next week starting the EGC, so the biggest Go event in Europe and often the biggest Go event in the world. And we are expecting, I think, on the website it's about almost 600 participants. I expect a bit less because there's of course always people not showing up at the end. So it will be obviously like a smaller EGC than usual, but also Turkey is more difficult to reach for many players. If you were to be knocked out in the first 2 rounds, who would you cheer for? It won't happen, of course. Thank you, Milena. Obviously, I would cheer for Tanguy. Come on, that's kind of obvious. So, yeah, actually, the last time that a player who is not a pro who didn't become a pro, that was European champion, was 25 years ago. So since then, all European champions were pros, or they became pro after their European champion title. So we still have, I believe, four pros who didn't become European champion, or three. Wait, we have Ali, Artem, Stash, and Tanguy. So I would be anyway cheering for one of them, but Stash and Artem are not coming, so I can only cheer for Ali and Tanguy. And because of the French Frenchness and French patriotism, I would cheer, of course, for Tanguy. If Tanguy were to also be eliminated, then I would cheer for Ali. Ali is seven times runner-up as well as Artem. Yeah, I think both of them were like four times runner-up. Amazing how relaxed White got ahead so much. Kinda teaching game. Yeah, it was complete teaching game. And also Jan played some suspicious shapes. But I noticed that already, like I was checking a couple of games from yesterday, and I saw that his shapes are still need to be worked on. So I think Lucan will have some job to do. You beat Yuanzhen in Strasbourg, right? Naturally, I lost to Yuanzhen. It was Ali who beat Yuanzhen in the final. But yeah, it was a good game. I believe he's less dominating than some Yaoling we had a few years ago, or even the monsters we had from Korea 10, 15, 20 years ago. Of course, still a strong player, but yeah, definitely beatable. Okay, and now just EGF announced that White has won by resign. So yeah, that was pretty much, I think, a very difficult game from the top sequence. Like this whole attack was very badly done by Black. Then there was the cutting moment here. I mean, of course, you could just answer. You could just answer now, but I still believe this was okay by Black to Tenuki. Oops. If you can attack. And after that, there's a very suspicious combo by White where like he gave a nice shape, but Black was not able to continue the attack. This was a very slack move. And after that, just the Yosei was nicely played by White, and Black kind of messed up. Yeah, like this whole not answering like this, and like White getting all the nice Yosei, this was just too much. So yeah, no, very solid game by Yuanzhen. But still good job to Jan. So this was actually the only round that I'm commenting in this tournament because I'm on holiday. So this afternoon I'm going to the beach. The next round is at 1 p.m. So I'm guessing Andley should start the review around 1:30, 1:40. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed those two games and see you next time. Bye bye. Because you're very seriously praying for the Europe. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm playing on Fox all day long. See you. Bye bye.